Ayan, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mother Jed. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. Good. Despite what happened, things will be better.
That's right. Sabi nga natin dyan, wag me, di ba? We're all gonna make it in the end, guys. So, ready na ba kayo for this very special episode of Fresh Money? Of course, the Philippines' #1 crypto show. Welcome, everyone. It's, of course, a very eventful week in crypto. We've seen a lot of very historical events. We see one of the bigger ecosystems being challenged and being, dropping like a rock over the past couple of days. But so far, the crypto industry has been in a testing phase. So, of course, this may be painful for a lot of us. But syempre, for the totality of the industry, it's good that we are testing these things out. Again, my name is Ed.
And I'm Jed.
Welcome to Fresh Money. Before we start, let me just have a few disclaimers, partner. So the views and opinions that are expressed in this webinar are only that of the presenters and do not necessarily reflect the company's views.
So any statements being made here are not to be treated as investment advice. So always exercise caution when trading cryptocurrencies as they are very volatile.
Yes, and what is PDAX? PDAX is a BSP licensed digital assets exchange that allows Filipinos to buy and sell and trade digital assets such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, USDT, and USDC, a Link, Uniswap, GRT, Engine Coin, Basic Attention Token, and Comp. And now, exclusive to our mobile app, we also have Cardano, Polkadot, Polygon, Avalanche, Dogecoin, XS, and SLP. And of course, today we're going to talk about the 4 new tokens, partner. So
Very
Finally!
exciting.
Very exciting. So, isa-isahin natin mamaya yan. So, we know, of course, how to make use of these tokens and how you can leverage them for your financial future.
Right. So later on in our show, we'll be having a quick Ask Me Anything question. So we'd love to hear your comments and thoughts. So share this Facebook Live, and those people who ask the most thoughtful and thought-provoking and mind-boggling questions will be rewarded with 300 pesos worth of crypto.
Yes, tama ka dyan, partner. Again, may mga suki tayong mga present na already in this episode. So make sure that you have thought-provoking questions, guys. Medyo mapapaisip kami ni Jed, na medyo challenge kami. So let's make sure that we keep those questions coming along. And gaya nga na nasabi namin ni partner Jed, of course, we're going to talk about many things today. And one of those things is going to be the state of the market. But this time, since it's a Friday, we're going to do something special because we're going to do a recap of what happened in the Terra or Luna ecosystem as well as USDT or USD Terra. So tawag namin dyan is a stablecoin meltdown. So as you all know, stablecoins are relied on by investors because of their stability. So ito yung mga digital versions of the US dollar, no? Na nilalagay natin ng pera, for instance, if we're trying to stake and earn yield from crypto, or if you are just looking for a safe haven when the markets are too volatile. And in this particular case, yung ating Terra USD is an algorithmic stablecoin. That means it has no asset backing. It's only propped up or at least kept at that peg using algorithms or code to manage the supply of USDT and Terra. And unfortunately, it was tested last week and it failed. So pag-uusapan natin yan because I think there are a lot of lessons that investors like you and me can learn about this event. So let's break it down. First of all, Terra Luna is a special... Terra or Luna, yung Terra is the blockchain, Luna is the coin, and the Terra USD or USDT is a special algorithmic stable coin project. So pair sila. So what makes it special is that unlike other stable coins, USD is not backed by any security or any actual dollars, but instead it relies on an arbitrage mechanism. So gumagana yan because Luna can be exchanged exactly for 1 Terra USD, no? And vice versa. Okay? So how does it work? How does it keep to $1? First, if USD or the USD Terra is higher than the peg, which is $1, then people can swap their Luna for USD and pocket the difference, increasing the supply of USD, making it less scarce, no? So pag kunyari, 1.1 US dollars yung USD, yung may hawak ng Luna will actually buy USD for 1 and pocket the 10% increase. Inversely, pag yung USD naman is below peg, meaning that it's lower than $1, then people will swap their USDs to Luna, and provided the Luna price is stable, people will shift to Luna, decreasing the supply of USD, making it more scarce. So, of course, algorithmic, but in principle, it should work. But of course, maraming mga critics ito. In fact, medyo torn yung community. There's a lot of people who are, criticizing this. And of course, the Luna people or who call themselves the lunatics are quite aggressive in trying to defend the thesis of this algorithmic stablecoin. What makes this stablecoin really special is because of a product called Anchor Protocol, Jed. And ako, nag-Anchor Protocol din ako. Kasi, of course, meron siyang retail offering, no? At to 19 to 20% return on your stablecoin, no? Sabi ng mga analysts, it has a natural rate of 8 to 10%. But syempre, because they're attracting money, because the bigger you are, the harder it is for you to fall, then they boost it up to 20%, which to some, hindi raw medyo sustainable. So the Anchor Protocol attracted a lot of retail money. That's what makes it different. Previous crashes of previous algorithmic stablecoins, puro mga crypto degens na na-apektuhan, but this time may retail na. So mamaya, there's a huge impact on this. Okay? And may tinatawag na Luna Guard Foundation, Jed, no? Or LFG, not Let's Freaking Go, but Luna Guard Foundation, which is actually the group that protects Terra and USD. And I think a few months ago, they've started also accumulating Bitcoin. Kasi nga may mga doubts na about the size of the ecosystem, its vulnerability. So they started, as countries really put up foreign currency to protect the price of their money, they also put up reserves in Bitcoin to protect naman UST, no? So, here's what happened. Yan, no? So, first of all, walang animation, pero okay lang. So, ito yung sinasabi nilang parang coordinated attack, Jed, no? So, first of all, may isang well-founded gentleman or investor or group, we don't know who, maraming mga nagsuspect, I think in the community, medyo nagbubulong-bulungan yan, who borrowed 100,000 Bitcoins, no? Hindi $100,000, ha? Hindi 100 million. Like actual 100,000 Bitcoins to sell and accumulate USD, no? So, ang plano niya is meron siyang maraming Bitcoin para mag-acquire siya ng maraming USD, okay? Tapos, when he already acquired that amount in USD, no, he timed a well-attack. He had a well-timed attack, no? Ito medyo quite complex ito because I think you have to be familiar with curved DAO, no? So sa curved DAO, may tinatawag ng mga liquidity pools, no?
That's right.
And one of the pools include yung USDT, USDC. I think it's either USDC or or yung DAI stablecoin including USD. So I think Curve DAO was shifting this to a 4 stablecoin fund.
Yeah.
Which necessarily requires that people from the 3 stablecoin pool sell and then buy the 4 stablecoin pool, diba? Get into the 4 stablecoin pool. So naturally, maraming sells and people are really buying the asset. Doon tinime nung attacker yung first 350 million USDs for selling, no? So doon nangyari yan, of course, he saw the first blip kasi biglang ang daming supply ng USD, prices began to wobble, no? And then, of course, with this, nagtaka yung mga tao, this is a stable coin, right? So the funds, yung institutional investors, started to be on edge. Ang nangyari, Jed, parang nagtinginan sila. Sino nagbebenta sa atin? Diba? Nagbebenta dito. So parang ang sabi ng friends natin sa Bankless, parang silang nag-Mexican standoff na parang sino nagbebenta.
Yeah.
Diba? Parang gano'n. Siyempre, these are all the institutional funds. No? They have research. They know this thing. Pero yung problema nga, as mentioned kanina, may retail participation, Jed. So, yung retail, syempre, we're busy doing our work. We can't see that. But them, they can see it. Then came the second attack. No? Mga around May 9, when the attacker went to Binance, and started selling 650 million USD, US Terra. In 3 million and 30 million tranches na talagang massive sell, no? And then the prices started to, nung medyo nag 0.98 yung presyo ng UST, Jed, ayan na, nag-start ng mag-liquidate ng pera from Anchor Protocol, yung mga funds, no? I'd take that 2% loss para to shore up lang my many earnings in the 20% that I've been enjoying. At doon na nangyari yung medyo nakaka-tense na slide in the price that you see here. Ito, yan o. Bam! Yan o. Yung malaking first downturn na yan. So, in fact, Binance even stopped the trading. Yung order book na nasimot, Jed. Kasi yung pala, when they programmed the trading for stablecoin, they did not expect a stablecoin to trade below 0.7. How it was programmed. So, nagtataka sila, biglang walang volume available until Binance was able to fix it, and then biglang gumuhit pababa because people were really rushing out the door. And in this case, during the bottom of this particular bago nag-tweet si Do Kwon, the founder of Terra and USDT, it experienced something very similar to a bank run where people were really rushing out the door, taking whatever they can, causing the price to go down. And then during that point, at around 2 a.m. Philippine time, May 10, nag-tweet si Do Kwon, the founder of Terra. Sabi niya, deploying more capital, steady lads. So, of course, yun, yung initial defense ng LFG of USDT by selling their Bitcoin. So ang masama pa dito, of course, LFG acquired those Bitcoins at $47,000 per Bitcoin, and now they're selling it at $35,000 per Bitcoin. So a huge loss for LFG. They wanted to put up a fight, and they did until this happened. No? Nung naubos yung 1.4 billion war chest ni LFG, then syempre, the rest is history. We saw the USD, the UST depeg even more. It slid down very rapidly to where it is as of this making, nasa 0.37 ng siya per US dollar. So, catastrophic failure. And because of the algorithm, the mechanism, no? In fact, si Luna absorbed most of the arbitrage from UST. Kasi nga, di ba, if UST is lower than the peg, then people will try to shift to the Luna token, which absorbed naman. Because if you shift to the Luna token, daming Luna token, babagsak ang presyo. And also, a thesis to the failure of Terra itself. So, aftermath, no? In May of, yan, ito yung chart ng Terra na confused na ako. Meron ako isang ibang slide set dito. But aftermath, yan, nakita nyo yung from $80 yung Terra, naging parang 2 cents na lang, no? Yan, si Christian Camburi yan. Yun, don't worry, ako rin, invest ako sa Anchor Protocol. Pero I think nung medyo nakabawi-bawi at nagbasa-basa ako ng konti, nakalabas naman ako. Pero syempre, I had to take a loss. Alright? So, ano yung aftermath niyan? So, from May 9 to 14, yun nga, it knocked off from the peg, causing a chain reaction. Syempre, pag natakot yung mga investors, they start selling. And therefore, starting that really, parang vicious cycle of correction in both Luna and UST, no? And ito nga yung sinasabi nila, no? This is not a unique attack. This is what we call a George Soros attack in the early 90s, Jed. So George Soros also did this doon sa
UK,
the
central bank.
The UK, yes, because they were pegging the British pound, no, at a certain level, and he knew that it wasn't sustainable. So ginawa niya, he borrowed, shored up funds from banks and started, flooding the market with the alternate currency. So he earned by just shorting the pound. And in this case, sinort din nung attacker na to yung ating UST. If you bet against the slide of the UST, then he earned almost $1 billion in profit, no? And then last, and gaya nga nang nasabi ko kanina, Jed, no? Unlike past crashes, this already includes retail investors because of the Anchor Protocol. And because of that, just a few hours later, walang 24 hours, Jed, we already heard from the U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen announcing the need for a framework to regulate stablecoins. Mm-hmm. So for me, one of the greatest backlash dyan, Jed, is of course, regulation can make the stablecoin safer, but at the expense of innovation. So ito talaga, I think we saw it coming along, no? So what is it for us to learn? Ako, medyo napaso ko ng 20% in my small position in Anchor. I think some of the friends I know even lost some more, but diba? First of all, is that this still holds the higher risks. That when there's higher risk, there's higher possibility of return and higher possibility of loss. If you think that the rate is unsustainable, question it. Ask for the rate instead of just investing. Second, is diversify. Yan yung sinasabi ko nung wife ko nung pinapakita ko yung Anchor Protocol. Kasi sabi ng wife ko, and I remember this, I think I shared this also in one of our episodes, Jed. Sabi niya, lagay mo lang lahat dyan. Like, no. No way, Jose. Meaning, di ba, yung aking training in TradFi really kicked in during that time kasi alam ko, taga lang, I'd rather reduce my rate than increase my risk, no? Second of all, third of all, know yourself, Jed. You have to understand what you're there for, what you can do, can you monitor your portfolio, can you cut your loss? Diba kasi nung bumababa ng UST, yung main question is, tataas pa kaya? And I kid you not, Jed, in my experience in stocks, no, pag bumagsak ng ganyang spectacular yan, normally hindi na siya nakakabalik. And last but not the least, we say this in every episode, no, partner, I think lagi tayo, every episode we start with this one, do your own research and diversify your sources. Social media has a tendency to only box you in to an opinion that you have. So make sure that you also read dissenting opinion, read alternative interpretations so you get a wider perspective. Yan. Jed, as ako, I was I'm nearly a lunatic. I love Terra. I love Luna. I love UST. Just like you. What's your take, partner?
Yeah, in my end, I had exposure to the ecosystem talaga. It wasn't just Anchor, it wasn't just Luna. I was really playing with the DeFi protocols. And it's really a big loss to lose an ecosystem that had such good synergy
Yeah.
among its different application, and it had really good user experience that even allowed retail investors to take part because of Anchor protocol. It made it easy for them to take advantage of DeFi despite the risks. And I know the risks that happened, and yet I was still affected with the
Mm.
crash of Luna. So this goes to show that in crypto, nothing is too big to fail yet. And as
Yeah.
compared to the likes of the traditional banks, wherein there will be a government to bail you out. Given that we are a free market, no one is gonna bail us out unless some big whale has some skin in the game. But then again, lots of investors, lots of VC funds backed Luna. None of them came back for. None of them tried to save Terra or made significant effort despite of what was happening. Everyone was scared. So to give some insight on what happened to the community, it was really big loss. It felt like there was a nuke that happened. Like it was all quiet. Everyone was down. Everyone was broken. But what was interesting was that people hosted safe spaces in order for anyone in the community to stand up and discuss and to take care of one another's mental health. Like I saw in my Discord communities of the NFT projects in Terra, they were all banding together. They were all deciding what's next, what's the plan, and it's still pretty active despite Luna being almost gone. And they're finding ways talaga to migrate as a community. I saw a tweet recently wherein one of the top builders, I think, or developers in Terra is talking to fork the Terra chain in order to
Mhm.
migrate all the applications and projects to
Sayang naman
uh,
kasi, no?
yeah, sayang with it's really sayang of what they built. But
Mm.
instead, they will change the mechanism of UST to be more collateralized instead of it being purely
Yeah.
algo algorithmic, no? Because
Mm.
this event really showed that algorithmic stablecoins are not sustainable. So be
Oo.
wary of those ecosystems that are copying Luna's roadmap, because some ecosystems recently, like Near, if you guys are familiar, and Tron, are exploring this sort of algorithmic stablecoin with offering high interest rates. So be wary given what happened to Luna, no? So it's really sad to see how fast it all happened. No?
Oo nga,
Like it
eh. Yun
happened
nga.
in 2 days, but it felt like
Two
years
months.
gone by. Years
And
gone by, and it happened
kami
in
ni
just
Jed were, di ba, we
days.
were chatting even, Jed, no, while this was happening. Oh, it's depegging, pare, what's happening, di ba? So exciting. I mean,
Crazy
of course, sad, no,
times.
with all of those losses. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why this was attacked, I don't know if it was a way to send a message or just someone wanted to exploit the mechanism in order to make some money, no? So I don't
Mm.
know, but it was a very well coordinated attack. And what
Yes.
allowed them to do this is because Do Kwon was very transparent in his moves. So
Mm-hmm.
he was announcing in Twitter what his plans were, when he will move the liquidity from 3 pool to 4 pool, no Ed? Because
Yes,
the
yes. Oo nga.
attacker attacked in that exact point when
Exact
they
day.
removed the liquidity from the 3 pool. So there was low liquidity, so they could take advantage of a big dump, which really
Correct.
caused the depegging. That's what
Correct.
started it all.
Right.
So yeah,
I think,
really trying
again,
times for those people who were affected. Keep your
oo.
head up because there will be more opportunities and things will only get better from here.
Right, makakabawi tayo dyan, guys. I mean, in crypto, it's not strange to experience these things. I think yan yata yung talagang binyag natin in crypto. You know?
Yeah,
There's
it's the
really
rite of
that wipeout
passage
event, a rite of
to get
passage
the
you
rug
really have to
pull.
learn from, no?
Yep.
Na marag tayo, no? So, ako, I think I had some... but ang very interesting insight is that it was really an attack, Jed. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
it was made by a rational actor, an investor who knew the weakness, who knew how to time it.
Yep.
And sabi nga nila, of course, yung nabanggit mo, they're trying to collateralize UST. They were trying it. They were
They were,
they're
yeah.
accumulating Bitcoin na nga because of this threat. But syempre, sabi nga nila, if it can be attacked, it will be attacked.
Yep.
So make sure, as Jed has mentioned, you have to study these things, and of course that it, you know, sa palagay ko kung hindi ito, this thing will not happen accidentally, Jed. Hindi naman yan parang mangyayari out of the blue. But talagang tinime niya yung kanyang mga steps. And I wouldn't be surprised even, Jed, if Do Kwon is actually, in the end of the day, involved in this. Kasi di ba, alam na alam talaga di ba? Parang medyo insider ang
Baka
dating ng
insider nga
matter,
din
diba?
eh. Never know until
Yan.
there's
But
more information.
yes. And of course, with these gut-wrenching events na medyo talagang gumuhit sa mga puso natin, it's important to learn the lessons, no? Yung nabanggit ka namin ni Jed, it's always good to do your own research, you diversify, and understand that when there's higher return, there's higher risk that you're absorbing. And on a not so pleasant news also, Jed, let's move on to the major cryptocurrencies. We have Bitcoin, di ba?
Yeah, so given what happened the past few days, Bitcoin accelerated its drawdown. So we saw it retest the macro range of around $30,000. So this is the macro low or the range low of several months. So the key here is for Bitcoin to just hold this support level in order to not worsen the downtrend. And I believe I mentioned in an earlier episode, quoting Bnd Coin, who's a really good analyst and data driven and very objective. He said that the worst case scenario for Bitcoin is that it will retest the 200-week moving average. And that's the blue line over there, which is roughly around the 20,000 level, which is the previous all-time high of Bitcoin. So that could be the worst case scenario wherein we wick on around that level. So I'm not saying it will happen, but it's best to be prepared for this kind of scenario. So again, the key for Bitcoin is to hold this as support, but given current macro conditions and current market sentiment, it will be very difficult to do so.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So again, similar to what Jed has mentioned, that drawdown actually caused a very, very poor mood over the entire crypto market, including Ethereum. Medyo hindi pa updated ito, but I have a more updated slide. If I hope we can show it, but yan. So I think this is not the slide, but the downtrend is back, ladies and gentlemen. Yung mga pinagdadasal nating support levels of 2336, 2291, and 2161, it was broken by Ethereum. So, well, as the price would suggest, it is back in a downtrend. So, from a sideways pattern that we've seen form of the past couple of months, it's now back in a downtrend. So, if you are trading, again, perhaps if you know how to trade your bounces, then perfect. But if you don't know how to do that and you're starting out in crypto, you might want to wait for these. Not financial advice. You might want to wait for the prices to stabilize first before you get in. More telling, Jed, dyan, yung MACD figures of Ethereum that we see today, no? We see it talaga, below zero with the signal below the actual MACD figure. That means that the downtrend has more power. It has not reached the oversold level yet in terms of RSI. So that means that it's likely to continue. No pause. So make sure that you're ready. Yung sinabi ng kanina, make sure that you know yourself. Are you a trader or are you a long-term investor? Don't confuse both. Don't switch to the other one because it's convenient or not. Make sure that you do this. And in most of our seminars, Jed, we teach our customers because crypto is highly volatile. Make sure that you also consider crypto cost averaging. We're buying this slowly over a long period of time. We don't know when this downtrend will end, but you want to stay invested. You want to stay participating in this crypto revolution. There's still hope, guys. It's just a correction. Crypto, this is normal for crypto. In fact, in Ethereum, the first rally was 94% drawdown. So, ito, mani pa lang ito sa crypto, I think. No? So, if this is your first time riding the lazy horse, then welcome, guys. This is what crypto is. So, let's stay invested. Okay. So, that being said, we are adding another portion to our show, no? Because of those movements in the market, the downtrend is back, and we have, Jed, the word for the day. And what is it?
The word of the day is bear. The current situation we are in, since to be honest, early 2022, we've been a sustained downtrend or what we call as a bear market. So just a quick fun fact of why it's called a bear, because the way the bear attacks, it attacks in a downward motion. So that's where it got its inspiration from, based on what I researched earlier.
Totoo yan. Kasi pag ganun siya, di ba? Tapos yung
Tapos the
bull
bull
pa
naman
ganun.
taas.
Yan. Okay. In fact, yung bear market, actually, there's a definition. Ano? So, I think in the securities business, in stocks, if you experience a decline over 20% over a sustained period of time, sometimes 2 months or more, which I think we are in the vicinity of, that's already a bear market. And of course, the sentiment of all investors are going to be low. There will be a lot of people who are trying to sell out of the market, especially pag yung malaki ng loss, people start feeling the pinch. And then they all pray na konting taas lang, I'll sell this na, I'll get it out. And true enough, Jed, the market will not recover until all of these weak hands are out. No, the last person who will sell away their yung hawak nila, capitulation, that is when the market naman soon will recover. So again, it's just a part of the cycles of the market. If it's a bear, then you have to be careful. Unfortunately for us in the Philippines, for stocks at least, you can't short. And I don't suggest you do short. So again, it can be attractive, but again, you have to know what you are getting into. All right? So let's now go on to Crypto News Weekly. Na ito medyo summarize na lang yung news natin, no? So we'll just read the headlines and then tell you guys what our takes are. So ito, yeah.
All right. So just a quick overview of what happened in the past week. So the general theme of the news recently, it's about regulation and adoption and how different countries are approaching it. You see that the US with the SEC continue to double down on crypto regulation by enforcement and expanding their unit. So I don't think this is the most ideal approach because they're not providing any regulatory clarity or any efforts to protect the consumers. It seems like they only want it for the sake of control of this industry. So I think it's very alarming and may sacrifice any innovation that's happening in the US as compared to what's happening in China, wherein they've stated several times that crypto and Bitcoin is banned. But here, a Shanghai court declares that Bitcoin is a virtual asset that can be protected by Chinese property law. So I think that's a very interesting approach.
Interesting.
So is that inamin na ba nila that they can't really ban Bitcoin and that it's really here to stay? So I think that's an interesting approach.
Yeah.
Then on the good.
They couldn't even if they wanted to, Jed, diba?
Just banning themselves from it,
Right. Nung nag-ban sila ng mining of cryptocurrency, nagpunta lang ng Mongolia yung mga miners. So again, it's a global
they just
thing.
Went to other countries.
Diba? Yeah.
The power of decentralization.
That's right.
And then a few more news is Argentina central bank blocks any new crypto offerings from the local or private banks in the country, despite the Argentinian people, after being surveyed, where 60% of them said that they want easier access to cryptocurrency. But the central bank had other plans because they were given some money by the IMF, around 44 million of debt. So they incurred more debt that came with the clause wherein that they would prevent any kind of cryptocurrency trading within the country. So I think that's a very, very odd trade with a country that's struggling already with very high inflation rates. I think around 60% last I checked for the year, and now they're incurring more debt and protecting from a financial ecosystem that may benefit its citizens. So it's very counterintuitive how they're approaching it as compared to their nearby neighbor, Brazil, wherein their largest digital bank offers Bitcoin and ETH trading. So they're making it more accessible for the Brazilians to trade cryptocurrency and have exposure to cryptocurrencies. So what's your take, Ed, for what's happening?
For me, parang medyo bearish na rin yung news natin, no?
Yeah.
Medyo, I think,
bearish.
Because of course the crash, it's not. I'm not surprised, Jed, that we have mga bearish sentiments about crypto. Yung mga critics of crypto really come out when prices are this way. But again, this is not the first time we've had this. We've had this 2 times already, so I'm not surprised. But then again, of course, if you believe in the technology, Jed, it's really blockchain technology, the global source of truth that's maintained, by accessible via the internet is something that really is of value and can change the way we
Mm-hmm.
live. I think you just have to, start with first principles. Why are we doing this? It's for decentralization.
That's right.
It's access to a source of truth that we can maintain and we can keep.
That's right.
So I think with that, again, kahit anong bearish pa dyan, of course, solid pa rin ang crypto. I mean, wag me. Okay.
Yeah, this is just noise, guys. Just noise.
That's right. And medyo bearish tayo on the state of the market, our word for the day, and crypto news. But meron tayong very exciting news for everyone because starting last week ba or this week lang, Jed? Ay, kind of time flew because of the Terra thing, ano?
Yeah, felt like years gone by.
That's right.
But I think just a few days ago, we released new tokens.
Right, we released new tokens in our mobile app. So in addition to our 26, we are adding 4. So there are a total of 30 tokens na available in your PDAX application. So isa-isa natin yan. Jed will provide us with a download on each and every coins. But to summarize, it's already available yung Solana, Sushi, Stellar, and BNB. So if you're holding on to your PDAX app, make sure you update them using the Apple App Store or Google Play Store or the Huawei App Gallery. Oh, that's a mouthful. So punta na kayo sa app, then you update your app para makita niyo yung mga bagong tokens. All right, Jed, take it away.
All right, for our first token, Solana, which is one of the most exciting ecosystems in cryptocurrency. It is the fastest and cheapest blockchain as compared to its competitors. That's the second largest NFT community behind Ethereum. It has amazing user experience. I remember, Ed, when I tried out Solana for the first time, I was blown away how fast and cheap everything was. Because prior to Solana, I tried exploring mga ETH a bit to get some understanding about DeFi. Ang mahal, and it takes minutes to process your transactions. When I tried Solana, I was like, oh my God, it's so good. It's crazy.
Kahit yung kahit yung scaling solution ni si Polygon, medyo ang bagal din eh. I tried it.
Pag may congestion, bumabagal siya eh.
I tried transacting at nighttime kasi that's the only time I have, Jed, to really tinker with my portfolio. So happened na bukas naman yung US market, so may congestion. Ang tagal. Minsan nakaka-tense pa kasi pag nag-refresh yung page mo, ano na nangyari? Hindi mo na alam. Diba? Tapos biglang wala pa sa port mo, kinakabahan ka. Siyempre, hindi rin malit yung binili mo. So anyways, fantastic, no? Ang bilis pa lang ito. Ako, I haven't really tried it, but I heard it's fantastic for NFTs.
Really good. It's really good. It's one of the most convenient ecosystems. That's why a lot of dApps are building in this chain. We have some examples like the Step-Ed. That's the move to earn application that's really took the world by storm. Nice. It really got a lot of people's attention, wherein you can do some walking and jogging and you will actually earn cryptocurrency tokens. Whoa. It's a very interesting concept. Yeah. I actually heard about that idea na move to earn with the project called GenoPets. I was following it because I felt like the idea was really interesting, but it took forever for them to develop the application. Naunahan pa sila ng Step-Ed, sadly. And then other applications,
And now that you talk about Step-Ed, I think next week we will be having our head of the Metaverse to talk about these things. Diba? I'm so excited about that chat, Jed, no? So make sure that you are tuned in.
I'll be listening in.
That's right. Ako din. Kasi si Phoebe yata, tsaka si mag-host. No? Anyway, Step-Ed. I think I'm not sure, but I hope to see you guys. But definitely we're gonna be there, if not hosting, but answering your questions. Diba, Jed?
That's right. That's right. All right. Yeah. So other exciting dApps in Solana, it's lots of interesting play-to-earn games like Aurora, Star Atlas, which is like a really big space game similar to EVE Online, if you guys are familiar, and many other things that's happening in Sol. Also, large NFT projects that can compete with the likes of Bored Ape Yacht Club and all the top blue chip NFT projects in Ethereum. So now the tokenomics of Solana, it has the Solana token can be used for transaction fees and earning yield, just like with all other proof of stake tokens. But given that you're earning yield, they will have inflationary rewards. But this is a bit offset by fee burns, which creates some deflationary pressure. So it minimizes the impact of inflation. But something concerning is that it doesn't have a total supply. And and currently has a circulating supply of 330 million. So we expect that the supply of Solana will continue to increase as people take advantage of the staking rewards. And some recent developments of what's happening in Solana, since it's a very fast and cheap blockchain, it's ideal for crypto gaming. That's why they raised recently $150 million from various VC funds. And they're even being dubbed as the Visa of crypto by the Bank of America,
Nice.
given that their transaction they can handle around 50,000 transactions per second currently, and even hypothetically they can raise it to around 700,000. So that's really fast. Visa is like around 60,000, I believe. So that's
Yeah,
very quick.
that's fast.
Yeah. Then another other developments, we have OpenSea integrating Solana NFTs. So this
Yo.
increases the global exposure of Solana NFTs and tap in a more liquid market or more excited market of NFTs in OpenSea, since a lot of NFT users just stay within the OpenSea ecosystem. And another thing that they've developed recently, Solana Pay. So that's basically similar to Gcash, but using Solana ecosystem or blockchain on the back
Right.
end. But sadly, they experienced a wormhole bridge hack, which costed around $320 million. So this is a bridge from Solana to Ethereum. Their smart contracts got exposed. And of course, they the CME or Chicago Mercantile Exchange will offer a futures product for Sol. And I think this is a very
Mm.
unique offering, since the only cryptocurrencies that have a future products with this exchange is Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this goes to show that Solana is really one of those blue chip cryptocurrencies. However,
Yes.
despite all these bullish developments and that's happening within Solana now, there are risks and concern. And one of the primary risks is that there are frequent blockchain outages. Around 7 times happened this year already.
Oh.
There are times where they had to halt the chain, when no one can do any transactions, nothing's happening. So it's very concerning that they're experiencing this. But on the silver lining is better to have this now than in the future, because they can iron out any difficulties and anything that's bothering the Solana blockchain. Other concerns that it's more centralized than other chains, given that it has very expensive hardware requirements to become a validator, given that to run a blockchain that's as fast and cheap as Solana, you would
Mhm.
really need expensive requirement. And this leads to more centralized validators, since only a few can um, acquire these expensive hardwares. And lastly,
Mm.
I remember hearing a podcast saying that the Solana Foundation admitted that it's hard to onboard more developers because of how difficult it is to code within the Solana ecosystem. And so this limits the innovation and the potential of Solana and may even slow down their momentum in the long run. So what's your take
Yeah.
on this, Ed?
To me, it's I think this is they're really positioning to be the transactional blockchain, no, yung something that really we hope that Ether can do for us, or the second the scaling solutions can do for us. But ito na, it's here, it's Solana. So I think yung mga concerns that we've raised kanina, these are just challenges. Of course, they are trying to rise above these things. But I'm very excited. Think for people, let's look at what they're going to come up with. Let's see the applications for Solana. I think, however, ang quite a concern sa akin dito, Jed, yung no total supply. So again,
Yeah.
kind of concern to me na how are they keeping this deflationary in the first place if you don't really have a supply. I mean, of course, I understand that their goal is to be a transactional blockchain. So that means that if you limit it, then mamahal ang mga tokens natin. So again, if you're trying to speculate naman on this one, then that could be a concern for you as well, kasi they can just issue an infinite number of Solanas to
It's like
to
fiat.
diba? Yeah, like fiat to be able to transact. So again, for me, if you are trying to do your project, baka worth a look in Solana. Kaya na nga, I attended my daughter's moving up ceremony, and there was this small session, Jed, na
Yeah.
that are telling in a video what they want to be when they grow up. Sabi ko nga sa asawa ko, sana may humirit ng I'm Ed. I wanna be a blockchain developer. So far,
Malay
wala.
mo,
Puro doctors and performers ang narinig ko. So
what did
sabi
your
ko,
daughter say?
kailangan natin guys, yung kailangan natin mga blockchain developers. So, you have to teach your kids that this is the future of finance and it's no better time to be here than today.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
right.
Jed, what's next?
All right, for our next token is
Yun.
Stellar or XLM. So this
Ko.
is an open source money transfer network with low fees. It's catered towards the cross-border or remittance industry, and they want to make it as fast and efficient as possible without the need of a bank. So it has a very nice real world use case since it addresses the problem of remittances. I believe we're all familiar how expensive and slow it is using the traditional system when sending cross border payments. But with Stellar, it makes it much more efficient and much more accessible, and is of course more affordable as well. So for the tokenomics of Stellar, the token is being used for transaction fees for the Stellar network, and it can be used for the trading of other cryptocurrencies and I believe other assets, securities, and even foreign currencies using the Stellar DEX. It has a total supply of around 50 billion. Is that billion? Yeah,
Billion.
coins and 24.8 billion circulating supply of 24.8. So some recent developments that's happening given the real world utility of Stellar, no, they've partnered up with lots of companies and even a nation like Ukraine, wherein they are
Ooh.
tapping the Stellar network to develop a digital asset infrastructure and even have plans to build a CBDC. Just
Wow. Yan na
and
naman yan, pare.
yeah, that's scary stuff, man.
Ay, nako.
So
Anyways.
other things that are developing in Stellars recently, they got native USDC in the network, so it's not anymore wrapped. It's within the Stellar blockchain. They've also partnered with the Chilean, Canadian, and Argentinian companies to create their own domestic stablecoin, and even
Mm.
partnered with MoneyGram, one of the largest remittance companies around the world. So I think that's a significant partnership, and they're really leveraging their technology and innovation to other countries and companies who are in need. However, despite the real world utility of Stellar, there are still risks and concerns. And one, if you're an investor or speculator of the XLM token, is that the Stellar Development Foundation is selling the XLM tokens in order to, what I believe is to pay for partnerships with different
Mm.
companies.
Okay.
That's why they've been selling, and this creating some suppression with the price and even slowing any possible momentum that the XLM token may have. And another concern is that since Stellar actually has some dApps and decentralized exchange and a DeFi ecosystem. I didn't even know till recently. So I think given that it's very inactive compared to other layer one chains, but I believe they're really focusing on the remittance aspect of this network. And in addition of holding the XLM tokens, the concern is that there's an absence of economic incentives since it's more on paying for transaction fees lang within the network. And since you're not really an active user and there's not much activity happening within the dApps, so there's really not much incentive to hold. But of course, there will be times that maybe this coin will pump. I don't know. And lastly, is that it's centralized. So Ed, what's your take?
Of course, when you talk about remittance, Jed, the first thing that comes to mind is XRP, really, no, yung Ripple.
Yeah,
So I think we all know that, of course, this is also a centralized token that banks and institutions really use. But I think itong Stellar has a huge potential. It is the blockchain implementation of Ripple, I think, no. So this really uses, that system of yung I think it uses the blockchain
that's
technology
right.
to really enable this. Ako, I have tried transferring through XRP, but I haven't really tried XLM. But I heard that the fees are lower with XLM. So again, hindi naman ako malaking transfer. I just transfer a few $1,000 across. So I don't really matter. I don't really mind if it's a few dollars more. No, but of
Yeah,
course you are if you're in the business of moving money, like kunyari, as you mentioned, si MoneyGram, no, baka it's worth your, it's worth to consider a cheaper version of yung XRP. So
That's right.
again, very promising. I think unlike Solana, they have a set supply, so that's uh, for me that's a check mark. No, I mean, and then of course, yung circulating supply, there's still quite a lot to be issued. So in terms of speculating on this one, baka not a good idea. But again, if you're trying to transfer value across borders through blockchain and the internet, you might want to look at XLM, another token that you can buy through PDAX Mobile.
That's right. So just a fun fact, the XLM founder actually came from the Ripple team.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why there's like lots of similarities and overlap between those two, no?
oo nga eh. I
So
think
I think this,
yun din,
yeah, you're
no?
right. I think this is the more blockchain
Oo,
approach
correct.
of
And
remittance.
I've Oh yeah, and I think I've heard this also from yung mga podcasts I hear about. I like listening to older podcasts kasi to
Mm,
make me familiar with what crypto was prior to 2018.
history, no?
So,
Mm,
mo history, no? Ganyan pala nangyayari, no? Sa kunyari in Bitcoin, may mga tao thinks, we should add smart contracts into this one, but there are the purists. The purists will say
mhm.
no, and there we stick with our objectives until that guy starts another blockchain.
Yep.
And then nangyari Ethereum, and then all of it branched out. So essentially, it's just some people trying to keep what they have, and then people trying to push the boundaries. I think in humanity, meron talagang mga ganung tao. May people that are there to keep what's existing, and people who are made to push boundaries. No, so very interesting that it also happened in Ripple pala, and XLM is the
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
result. Yon. And speaking about another alternative token, I think yung next natin is an alternative to Uniswap. So what's
Yes.
that, Jed?
This
Ayun.
is sushi. Actually,
Yun.
sushi hard fork or copy pasted the code of
No.
Uniswap. Yeah, but that's legal actually, since the code of Uniswap is open source. That's the nature of the industry. The code
Right.
is usually open sourced, and that's what Sushi did. But what made matters worse is that they did a vampire attack, or they pirated the users of Uniswap by offering
Oh.
higher rewards and yield in Sushi by with so if you stake your Uniswap tokens in the Sushi DEX, you will earn higher rewards. So this is how Sushi built up their liquidity and gained more of the users by creating this parasitic or vampire attack on Uniswap. But Sushi is more than what it was before. It's not just a DEX now as compared to Uniswap, where it's focused on trading between tokens. Sushi now is a one-stop shop for crypto and DeFi because it offers a suite of DeFi protocols, such as for lending, like Kashi, which allows lending market and margin trading, and Bento Box, which provides yield instruments. And it's a very fertile ground for yield farming, as you can really do a lot. I believe Sushi was one of my first DeFi experiences.
No.
Yeah,
Really?
like
Yes.
I tried it in Polygon, Matic. I was playing around and I was trying to do liquidity providing, then staking the token. And I was like, it's pretty cool how we can earn so much yield. So
Nice.
what Sushi does, it offers you an opportunity to really stack your yields by staking your tokens, providing liquidity. So it's basically a really good ground for yield farming. Now the tokenomics for Sushi, no, it's the reward for staking in the Sushi platform. It's also used as the governance token of the platform. It has a total supply of 250 million and a circulating supply of around 192 million. So that's pretty good circulating supply to total supply ratio. So some recent developments that they only recently launched all these DeFi protocols like Kashi, Bento Box, shoyu, miso. It's lots of Japanese food related stuff that really helped build that DeFi ecosystem in sushi. No? And of course,
Right.
one of the developments that they've announced recently is Sushi 2.0. So Sushi 2.0 is more of a structuring of the organization and the leadership around sushi. Since recently, there was a recent major turnover of leadership in sushi, no, wherein they lost their top developers and the key founders, and key community members. So they were at disarray and loss of what will be the next steps for sushi. That's why they launched that's why they created a proposal wherein they give more structured functions within the sushi DAO in order to have a better direction of where this will be going and more community governed and community driven. So
Nice.
again, the concerns with sushi, despite the really interesting DeFi ecosystems, that one, the developers lack the transparency with the community, and two is that they recently had a major turnover of leadership and key community members. But they're trying to address that with Sushi 2.0. What's your take, Ed?
Right. Ako kasi my only experience really, Jed, in these swapping apps, no. I remember participating naman in this weird token called Pancake. So, diba, I had Ethereum. I want to buy Pancake. I don't know how to get it. So, I just swapped it using Uniswap. And then, I did that. And now I'm earning mga 60%. It's not financial advice. No, I don't advise you guys to get into these things. No. Medyo quite risky in the pinch of crypto. But I wanted to go there. So, I wanted to tell you guys about it. What's it like? So, yung ganto kami sa PDAX and PDAX Prime, we try to get into those applications. So when you decide to do so, we can, give you 2 cents, no? Some advice, some guidance lang on what to expect. So for me, ito yung parang case naman, Jed, unlike kunyari sa XLM or yung usual forks, ito parang may galit pa sa Uniswap, Kinuha pa yung mga
Yeah,
kliyente
kinuha
nila.
pa grabe.
Grabe, pati yung mga developers. So again, sa akin, it's worth to explore. I think what we are trying to offer here is the tokens for sushi. So if you believe in the business of sushi and all of its DeFi glory, then perhaps this is something that you can, and that you can consider in your portfolio. Again, not financial advice, must be suitable for your particular financial situation. But for me, after this show, Jed, the first thing I will do is take a look at those Japanese foods that you just mentioned. I'm very exciting.
Gutom ka ba?
Medyo nagutom ako, and I was kind of excited also with the possibilities. I mean, that's why I'm in crypto also. That's why I love this industry. Ang daming innovation. There's a lot of new things that we can talk about and, to change how we
That's
view
right.
money. And I think for like this, for an industry like this, there's really a stage in its development na meron tayong ganito. We try to identify what's possible. We try to identify what can make sense for everybody. But
That's right.
again, just like any other industry, meron din consolidation. And we've seen it today. Some ideas don't really work. Some ideas do. And when they do, they stay for a long time. And hopefully, people keep doing this to find ways how it can contribute to humanity. And I think sushi is doing a good job. All right, what's our last token? Medyo controversial to, Jed, Parang medyo nag-away-away pa yata tayo kung offer natin to. But nevertheless, since you asked for it, it's now in PDAX.
High demand, the Bnd Coin, the native coin
Yan.
of Binance. So they actually forked also Ethereum's code, but addressed the congestion and slow transaction issues or the scalability issues of Ethereum for the sake of decentralization. So they're more centralized compared to Ethereum. That's why when you use the BNB chain, it's much cheaper and faster than Ethereum, despite the hard fork that happened. So the BNB, it powers the layer 1 chains that's providing fast transaction and cheap fees. It hosts over 1,200 projects and has been the destination to be the launchpad of several decentralized applications. So some of the tokenomics or the utility of BNB is that it can be used for discount on trading fees and withdrawals from Binance. It can also be used for staking, since it's a proof of stake protocol. It can be used for NFT minting and transaction fees, so similar to your other layer 1 chains. But what makes it unique is that Binance buys the BNB with 20% of its earnings, with the goal of reducing its supply to just 100 million. So essentially, BNB is deflationary because of this. And
Right.
some recent developments with the BNB coin is that they rebranded from BSC, Binance Smart Chain, to the BNB chain. And they've also created this BNB Autobird that happens every quarter, which allows BNB to become deflationary. However, the risks and concerns with this particular coin is that it's more centralized compared to other chains, and the decentralized applications available in the BNB chain is that it's more quantity than quality. Not many dApps stand out. Like, I didn't know they had this many projects, but only a few of these protocols actually pop out in my head, like Pancake Swap.
Correct. My pancakes. In fact, in Jed nga, no, I've also been sa yung mga crypto events that we have, yung mga Manila Crypto Club. We've been through also yung mga events for NFTs, and most of the local projects that are actually starting up is using this the Binance Smart Chain, in trying to launch their projects. So it's a very common, because Binance, of course, that's not deny the fact that they're the largest in the world. They have the most sophisticated products, and even myself, I even use sometimes the Binance, of course, for my trading needs.
Tracer, the joke lang. I use it also. Don't worry. I use it also. Don't worry.
And I think most of our users also do, especially if you want
Nothing
to charge.
wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. But again, it's for us, it's really supporting the entire community. Now, if you can find ways to really, enjoy Binance, it suits your lifestyle, then we're happy to support it. Again, yung ano ko dito is that it might be easier to onshore your funds in Binance, no? So you buy the BNB token, you can easily transfer to the Binance ecosystem for your staking needs or whatever it is that you need from Binance. Again, painful, but syempre, it is reality. We can't naman, lie to you guys na, oh, you just have to be in PDAX, no? There are a lot of things that we still can't do, but darating din kami dyan, guys, because we worked in the regulated path. We are always challenging our regulators. We're working with them, and that's the reason why it's easier to onshore naman your peso, your fiat to PDAX, because we are regulated. Si Binance hindi. So yun lang yung risk natin dyan. And that's it. Those are the 4 new tokens, guys. Again, to reiterate, we have 4 new tokens. We have Solana, we have Sushi, and we have XLM. We have BNB already in your mobile app. Now, if you can't see it yet in your mobile app, you just go to where you got the app and then update it, then relog in to see the new tokens that you can purchase. Again, Solana, ideal for it's the transactional blockchain. I've heard so many good things about it in the NFT space. In fact, I think the second largest NFT community is Solana already, Jed. So again, a lot of things that's happening there. XLM is known for remittance use case. If you're transferring huge amounts, then probably something you should consider. Sushi, ako, nagutom ako, Jed. I wanted to see all the the interesting dApps that you've mentioned. And for Binance, syempre, if you love Binance and you love PDAX, pwede naman you love both. In crypto, hindi naman kami seloso. So, you have the BNB token. All right. So, Jed, take it away, brother.
All right. So,
ako pala to, sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, Jed.
Good. Good.
Naano ko yung tagging na. Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, fresh money is available in your Spotify. So if you want to share this episode, again, marami tayong napag-usapan. We broke down the events of Terra and UST. We also talk about the interesting characteristics of the tokens. Jed did a good job trying to tell us about the proposition, the tokenomics, and the concerns. So again, very balanced view tayo dyan. You can catch it again. You can listen to us again in Spotify. Hanapin nyo lang yung Fresh Money Podcast. We are there.
Right. And we are also available in TikTok. So if you want to see some snippets or maybe Ed dancing in the future, just scan this QR code and view our TikTok page and even keep up to date with what's happening in PDAX.
Yes, sir. And I'll take you down with me. So it's not just me who's dancing, but si Jed
Sasayaw
for sure. Tayong dalawa na yan, bro. And of course, let me talk to you about the expanded limits of your PDAX account again. We have, of course, dapat mag-verify ka. So yung mga pinamimigay nating mga free Bitcoin, kailangan may PDAX wallet ka. And for the verified account from 50K on a daily, yung daily limit natin is up to 100K. Yung monthly limit from 150K to 2 million. And yung annual, Jed, ang laki na, from 500K to 20 million pesos, no?
Yeah.
For premium, We've also increased that in daily natin, 100K to 250K in the new setup. We've increased also the monthly limits from 400K to 5 million, and yung annual from 3 million to almost $1 million, no? 50 million pesos yung limit mo. So again, huge limits. And of course, if you are a Prime client, then you are unlimited. So get verified today.
All right. So if you want to join our community and social media groups, just scan the respective QR codes for Discord, Facebook group, and Telegram to stay up to date with what's happening in PDAX and bond with our fellow community members.
Right. And at times, nandun din kami ni Jed. So, kung mayroon kayong tanong, itag nila kami at Ed Martinez or Jed Ignacio. We'll be happy to answer you guys there and hang out with you also. And of course, yung ating service that Jed and I are part of, the PDAX Prime, no? This is our premium service. Again, medyo sumisikat na kami. Dami na kaming mga new upgrades in PDAX Prime. I'm so happy. Hindi na ako kinakabahan sa meetings namin. Anyways, just to share. No? So this is the proposition for people who want to take crypto seriously, or if you're a millennial, a Gen Xer, or a baby boomer na medyo hirap na sa apps, then PDAX Prime is perfect for you. Bakit, Jed? Because number one, you have direct access to the crypto market. We set you up with a chat with our trader. So if you are not really good on dealing with your app, then you can just chat with a trader and then do your transactions. We also provide you with a team like me and Jed, and also our two other team members. If you have any questions about the many use cases of crypto, we can answer you. Diba? We can provide guidance. We can hold your hand when you explore the world of crypto. And finally, since crypto is fast changing, in fact, just today, ang dami kong natutunan kay Jed about the many use cases of the other tokens that we've offered. So ayan, you will be exposed to that because we have crypto learning sessions available. And that being said, meron tayong Exploring the World of Digital Assets. It's held monthly. So if you want to learn about the latest schedule for this one, make sure you check out our Facebook page. That's the PDAX page with the green check. Make sure that you interact with blue check pala, no? So yun, it's a seminar that we hold every month, at least twice a month. Even we even have special runs dun sa ating, we even have special runs with our partners. So sometimes we extend that also to our to the public. So make sure that you attend, or if you have mga kamag-anak nyo na medyo interested in crypto and want to learn about the basic use cases, then this show is for you. And Jed, very excited tayo dito. Yung ating Crypto Talks by PDAX Prime. Jed, ano ba to? Next week na to, di ba?
Yeah, this is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Metaverse, wherein our head of the Metaverse, Patrick, will talk everything and anything about the Metaverse. So if you guys are curious on what the Metaverse is or what it will be, best be sure that you will learn a lot of things in this talk.
Yan, Jed. I think if you think that me and Jed are OG crypto, itong si Mr. Patrick Lau, the master of the Metaverse in PDAX, yan ang legit OG, guys. So, alam na talaga yan. I think ang kanyang claim to fame, he owns like a few hundred NFTs. So talaga to be heavily exposed in the NFT market. Alam na yan, and think yung...
He knows his stuff.
Diba? He knows his stuff. So make sure that you attend. If you're interested, then check out your. I think we're gonna invite them through email, no? So yun, and then also check our community for the invites for this one. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I think we have time for a few questions, but Jed, I think medyo
we can answer a few
show natin. Yun. So we have. Yeah, can answer a few questions. Again, sabi nga dyan kanina, we will reward the most thought-provoking questions that you may have. So if you have some of that itch trying to scratch your brain, no, you're trying to you want to know something, then now's the time. So Jed, do the honors of selecting the first question.
All right. So for Chris Torres, will Luna still recover?
Sana.
To be honest, I don't know, but I'm really hoping. But it's very difficult to regain that trust again, given with what happened. It dropped. It was a top 10 coin just 3 days ago, and now it's gone. And it's pretty concerning since the members of the Terra Foundation labs have been relatively radio silent the past 2 days. The last communication being a proposal wherein to increase the minting of Luna and uncap the supply. So if for Luna to recover, the USD needs to return to the $1 peg,
Right.
for any hopes of recovery, no? So we'll see if it does, but don't get your hopes up, and let's be real here.
I think currently nasa 11 cents point 0.11 na lang yung USD. So I mean that happening to back to one might be a difficult proposition, no? In fact, may backlash pa yan yung emotional response ng mga tao towards the token itself. And as Jed mentioned kanina, there's nga proposals na to shift some of the projects to other blockchains. So while we're praying for this to happen, very promising set of people as well, although it's syempre the concept of algorithmic stablecoin can be done better. So make sure that if you see another incarnation of this, you look for the one that has capitalization, the one that's supported by assets. Yon. So congratulations. Hindi pala, sinasagot lang pala natin. So all right, so answer muna tayo. Sige, answer two more. To another question from Henry Medina. So he's asking, okay pa ba bumili ng XRP? Nako, depende ho yan what type of investor you are. No, if you're a trader, then let me check the charts for you. XRP to the US dollar. Oops, again, the downtrend is back, similar to the other tokens we've discussed. And in crypto, just like in stocks, I think yung correlation of the coins are really high. If you try to see a lot of the coins, medyo pare-pares ng ginagawa nila. So again, the chart for SLP is not looking too good in terms of the MACD, in terms of the actual price action. So ako, again, not financial advice. I'm more of a position trader. I like these things. I like drawdowns, but I don't want to be in them when they do. I wait for them to really stabilize, try to establish more of a sideways pattern before I start considering the asset. So if you're a trader like me, then probably not a good idea. But again, if you're trying to do this on a cost averaging basis, then do it as and cost average. Then you buy slowly, but not regarding any timing. And one of the rules also of cost averaging is that you have to hold it for a long period of time. So hindi yan pwedeng cost average lang for 3 months, no? Hindi pwede yun. Dapat mahabang panahon so that the asset can show you what it is really. And I think in the overall scheme of things, crypto, this in particular, because of its remittance use case, there's always going to be people trying to transfer money across borders. So that's not a worry. But again, its sentiment also has a lot to play on it. So if the sentiments are negative, then you have to consider that in your investment decision. Boom.
Right. For our last question for today, so it's Terra related also, since that's the hot topic the past few days. So Christian's asking are we also investing in Terra? Are you also investing in Terra Luna? And what is the effect of this if Terra disappears? What will happen to Bitcoin and other crypto? Can it still recover? So Ed and I mostly explored the Anchor protocol. I'm a bit deeper into the ecosystem itself. So the effect of Terra disappearing is that, for one, there will be tighter stablecoin regulations because lawmakers and policymakers will have another bullet and use this case saying that stablecoins are not safe and we need to protect the public. So they're going to make it tighter for the likes of USDT, USDC, and other potential issuers of stablecoins. Another implication is that I don't think there would be any room for another fully algorithmic stablecoin because we clearly see that it's not sustainable despite the vibrant and big ecosystem of Terra. It still managed to fail because of a well-timed attack. And third, what will happen to the crypto community? What will happen to Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency? For now, I think the momentum will slow down and maybe grind a bit lower. But in the long run, crypto will still go on. This is part of early. Projects will fail, projects will succeed. That's the price of being early. There will be times when you think this ecosystem is it, this cryptocurrency is it, but the market will prove you wrong. And despite that, the cryptocurrency industry will just move along and learn from its past mistakes in order to make it more robust.
Right, correct. So crypto will move on, Christian. I think friends lang kami sa Facebook na Christian eh. Nad niya ako eh. So so again, this is really something of value. This is not like a trend like ano ba? Ano ba yung mga trends that we've seen recently, mga milk tea, no? This is not similar to that. This is not a fad by any means. There's really value in what blockchain brings to us. So I think it's just another step. To me, even though painful, an important one nonetheless, because here we see what works and what doesn't. And of course, what I hate to see is that there will, maglalabas na naman ng algorithmic stablecoin yung ibang mga tao, then we all, just forget about this thing, no? Don't forget about the lessons you learn in crypto. And, it will go on, definitely. And when it does, we'll be here, no? Andito pa rin kami ni Jed, still talking about crypto and bringing you the number one crypto show in the Philippines, Fresh Money. So, I guess, Jed, goes without saying, ito na yung tatlong winners natin, no? Kasi we have not so much time today. So first, congratulations to Christian Caburian. Congratulations to you. You've won 300 pesos ba tayo worth of cryptocurrency. Again, so make sure that you screenshot this and you know what to do, Christian. It's not your first time to win. Again, thank you for tuning in and contributing your thoughts to us. And congratulations.
All right. For our next winner, Chris Torres asking the Luna question as well. Still, well, let's see if it recovers. It's going to take a miracle. So just screenshot this live stream and send it to our Facebook page. Make sure it's the one with the blue check mark, though.
Yes, congratulations, Chris. And last but not the least, congratulations to Mr. Henry Medina. No? Okay pa ba bumili ng XRP? Again, advice natin yung ating guidance kay Henry. Make sure that you apply that to every cryptocurrency you consider. No, try to identify first what type of trader you are, and then decide. No, make sure that you know the rules, follow the rules, and then invest wisely. Okay, all right. So congratulations, Henry. Make sure you do a screenshot of this and coordinate with our official Facebook page. As mentioned with Jed, you may blue check mark. And as always, partner, it's all the time we have. Again, I enjoyed the show very much. Again, it's nice to be chatting with you again. Although the week's been painful, pare. The week's been really painful. I was really rooting for Terra just like you. I love Anchor Protocol. I understand what they do. But again, a well-coordinated attack actually caused it to fall. One of the more spectacular crashes in crypto history. And what's important is we learn from it. Diba?
Learn and move on.
That's right. And sabi nga ni Jed, crypto will move on. And we hope to see everyone once again. I am Ed.
And I'm Jed.
Thank you for watching Fresh Money. Yun! Money natin. Bye guys. Thank you. Thank you so much.